I received an inquiry for a commission the other day and I was like, yes, let's go man, let's do this. And a few days later, I opened my mailbox and I found this. Holy This is a huge ass miniature, okay? I am so freaking intimidated. My client texted me beforehand that the only thing he didn't want was something pink and girly pop coated, Hello Kitty. And even though I am very intrigued to smother this baby in rhinestones, this is a pretty fair call. So why not turn 180 degrees in the other direction and turn this miniature into something truly badass, into something Mad Max inspired. Post-apocalyptic anarchy, diesel-fueled madness. Oh my god, this is so cool. Adrenaline, destruction. Damn, this sounds so freaking fun and exciting. And without further ado, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna do. So here's the idea. I'm not only going to paint the Morkanaut in a dusty post-apocalyptic painting scheme, but to lean into my delusion even more and to really pull off the abstrusity of the scene from Mad Max, I'm going to build a real-life boombox onto the vehicle that is going to be able to play music. I'm also going to include a 3D printed orc miniature that holds a guitar and add LED lights as flames that are bursting out of his guitar.
What? What the fuck?
I want my client to pull up to his next Warhammer game with his friends and leave them completely baffled. Because this is crazy as f. I have never approached any of these things nor techniques, but as usual, that doesn't hold me back to hop on the Delulu train. And as we have a lot to do, less talky, more walkie, and let's get cooking.
12 seconds later.
Well, so right now I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to do with this miniature. The general idea is clear, but obviously it had been painted before. My client stripped the paint and I think he did a really fine job, but right now I'm trying to figure out if I have to clean it up even more or if I can work with this. What is definitely clear is that I don't have a lot of room with the basing because it has been pre-assembled. It is what it is. Maybe I can find a way to get rid of the base and yeah, definitely. So I took a closer look and I found out that the arms of this Morkanaut are magnetized, which is fucking great. This is great news, guys. It gives me way more room to paint this miniature and to focus a little bit more on the details, so that's great. All right, I think it's time. Let's clean up this mini and paint it. Exactly, because before we can enter the fun part of painting the miniature, we have to clean it up thoroughly. And seriously guys, I love painting miniatures, but I want this to turn out really amazing. I don't want to be lazy, so that's what we have to do. Okay, the miniature is cleaned up and ready to go, but before I'm going to go over to the paint job, I'm going to build the boom boxes out of XPS foam. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Let's go.
2,000 years later.
Okay friends, usually when I'm doing a project, everything unfolds within creating all of this. So right now I was working on the XPS foam to create these boom boxes and I was like, no, it's just not working. And when something is not working, we're gonna change the plans. And this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make them out of balsa wood. I bought this for another project some months ago. I barely used it, so I'm gonna use it now. And I'm gonna make the boom boxes out of balsa wood to make it even more realistic. And yeah, we're gonna see if this is gonna work out as usual. And yeah. Let's get cooking. And when something is not working out, it usually helps to switch over to another part in the project. And this is exactly what we're doing now. We are painting the base of the vehicle. I decided to go for a Citadel primer of Mechanicus Standard Grey. I like that it has a kind of greenish undertone, if I'm not mistaken. And the battle plan for this project is to make it as dystopian and post-apocalyptic as possible, to make it really Mad Max-like. And to achieve this, I thought I'm going to go full rusty mode, and I have this beautiful rust set by AK, and I'm going to add several layers of different rust colors. Then I'm going to plan on putting a varnish on top of it and chipping effects. So we're going to add another layer of color which is completely different from the rust, and then I can chip it off and the rust is gonna come through and it's gonna look great. I really hope so. Let's go. Love where this is going, so I'm going to replicate this look for all the other parts of the vehicle. It is also time to challenge myself with a new technique. I've never used chipping effects before, and I'm using AK heavy chipping effect for this vehicle, and I'm really excited to try it out. And then eventually I can add another color. And I decided to go for dark sand, and I was really getting close to overthinking this, like, oh my god, what kind of color am I going to use? But I think dark sand fits the overall Mad Max universe so well. After applying the chipping effect and the color, you can super easily just brush off the color. And I used the toothbrush and it worked so freaking well. And as you can see, I'm really happy that it worked here. I also added another wash to make it look a little bit more dark, to dull it down. And as this test on this part of this vehicle worked super well, I'm going to replicate this on all the other parts. I'm also going to paint all the metallic parts metallic, obviously, but I don't want to just paint over the dark sand, so I'm going to paint all these parts in black before we can paint it metallic. This is a lot of work, but I'm willing to go this route. I don't want to go the lazy route with this project at all, so I'm gonna push through. And I can tell you guys, painting the base structure of this vehicle took me several weeks. Only this part you can see here in this super fast montage took me weeks. And I loved every second of it, gotta be honest. Last but not least, I used a beautiful animal wash on the silver parts, and I also cleaned it up a little bit with isopropanol. And as you can see, this project took me so long that I did get my nails done in the meantime. So my nails are changing throughout the project. So 1,000 standard years later, I am finally finished with the base. And when I'm tackling a project, we need more drama, of course. And this is the part where we are coming to now. My super nice friends from wg.Wonders 3D printed this amazing orc miniature. It looks super badass. It looks like it has been born within the Mad Max universe. He has a guitar in his hand and he just looks so fucking cool. I just had to include him in this kind of diorama. So I'm starting to base coat him, and I'm using my Orc Skin 101 SOS technique where I'm going to base coat in purple, I'm going to dry brush with pink, and I'm going to dry brush again with yellow, and then I'm going to add green. Finally resulting in me trying to layer all the orc skins, like the greens, on top of each other. Oh, he looks badass! I love him so much. Finally going over to the instruments and the boomboxes and seeing all of these pieces together lying down here on my super dirty painting mat. It is the first time in this project where I have this feeling, oh damn, this could really work. Let's go! Okay guys, I am so excited because after all this time painting the vehicle, painting the miniature, painting the orc, and doing all of this extra stuff, it is finally time to get crafty, baby. And when I say crafty, I mean crafty. Today it is finally time to tackle, I think, the biggest part of the project, and I have this feeling that the project is gonna stand or fall with this. And these are the boomboxes. I scribbled them down on paper right at the beginning of the project, and now I have to take these scribbles and put this into reality, put this into real life, and create these boomboxes on top and on the back of the vehicle. And because I have, as usual, no too little experience with working with wood or anything else, I get a little bit of help today, and I'm super excited because today we are going to the workshop. Let's do not waste any time. It's gonna be a long night, so let's go.
Na dann viel Erfolg.
Dankeschön, euch auch. Haha. Yes, jetzt haben wir es. Okay, dann muss ich das am Ende zuspachteln. Aber es passt auf jeden Fall. Das ist ein Träumchen. Ich fühle mich auch richtig sicher jetzt, wo du hier stehst. Richtig abgeholt. Yeah!
Alles wird.
Kleine, aber feine Schritte. Cool. Okay. So after breaking off the head, which I'm going to fix in a second, obviously I have to build the rest of the boombox, but it's going to be colored as well. So yeah, let's see how it turns out. These are the kind of moments when you see your miniature and you're like, this is never gonna look good. But it will be, I promise, I promise. The idea is there. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. And I just hope it's not gonna look like shit like it does right now. One problem I do have though is this little guy over here, because he's already attached to the vehicle and it's gonna be such a pain in the buttocks to paint him. Ooh, this is gonna be so bad. I wasn't really sure how to paint the head. I decided to go for rust tears, like tears of rust. I wanted these to have kind of like a flame color scheme, but it looks like the German country flag. Which, no, I don't want to, no, absolutely not. I have to really work on the glazing here, like, this is so bad. So yeah, I finished painting the little orky guy. And I was thinking about painting the eyes, but there is no chance in hell I we'll get that done. So it's not gonna be visible anyway, but yeah, I think I'm happy with the colors and the transitions from dark green to lighter green to yellow. So yeah, that's where we at. Off to the next thing.
Test 1, 2, 3, hallo.
Okay guys, we made it through so many steps during this project, so many firsts as usual. And I know I told you guys that the project is gonna stand or fall with the wood structure and the boombox itself. But actually, we're getting to a point in the project that is even more crucial because it's basically the whole idea. And this is the whole electronical stuff. So if the boombox is not working and we can't hear any sound and the LEDs are not LEDing, the project sucks. So it better works out, guys. But at this point, nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us. We are fucking locked in. We are locked the fuck in. Okay, so to make this project work, I'm going to use an ESP32 development board, including an amplifier which is called the MAAAGH or MAX 9, 3, 5, 7, and 8. So this is basically what we are using. We are also going to need some DuPont cables and we're also going to need some jumper cables. I'm also going to put everything on a breadboard first and maybe I'm going to use it in the project because it's just easier. We're also going to need a power supply. And without further ado, let's get cooking. Let's get soldering. Holy macaroni, I am so freaking glad that it worked out. I can't believe it. I have never done something like this before, and I gotta be honest with you guys, this is the dream. This is my dream. I want to make so many more projects like this. Seriously, this is what my heart beats for, and it was such an amazing experience. And now the only thing, the last station in this project that is left to do are the LEDs that are going to be connected to the guitar of the orc. So I'm using a wooden stick to wrap the LEDs around it, and I also soldered the LEDs to a longer cable because the cable was not long enough, and then I soldered it to a power supply, and last but not least I'm wrapping everything up in cotton to make it resemble the flames that are coming out of the guitar, and this is the final look. We did it. We did it. I am completely baffled. I have never in my life had so much fun with a project. Everything I attempted was so above my skill level, but I still managed to push through and make this happen. And before we go over to the heroic highlight, I want to mention two things. Number one is, it was really important to me that my client is going to be happy with what I created for him. Everybody who asks me to do a commission knows that the miniature is gonna be crazy as fuck and silly as fuck, but at the same time, I want it to be fun, I want the client to be happy, and I also want it to be practical. So obviously, this miniature would never make a tournament because it's not going to be allowed. So I thought about a solution how I could make this as practical as possible, and I came up with the idea that the whole structure of the boombox can be detached and reattached to the miniature. So it is not fixed at the miniature, and my client can basically choose if he wants to pull up to a Warhammer game with the whole boombox, playing music all the time and really getting into the orc spirit and the Mad Max spirit, or if he wants to play a tournament and he can detach the music box. I'm also going to leave the base detached because the base is a square base, and if he wants to choose an oval base, he can do so. So I try to make this project as practical as possible and still fun at the same time. So I really hope he's going to be happy, and I can't wait for his reaction. The second thing I want to talk about before we go into the final heroic highlight, when I started painting Warhammer, I received so much hate, and I gotta be honest with you, I am so happy that I pushed through, because this is what I've always wanted to do. And I just want to tell you, if you have no experience at all, or just a tiny bit of experience, there is no shame in it. This hobby is for everyone, and I'm here to make these mistakes online. I'm here in full transparency. I'm laying this out in the open to show you that there is no shame in it to start a new hobby. And despite what everybody else says, do what you want to do and just have fun and never back down. And also don't be intimidated by people who want to steal your joy. This is the most important thing, that you keep going and be inspired by other creators and just do what you love to do. This is the most important thing. You can paint your miniatures in every color scheme you like. It is your plastic crack you paid for, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. And if somebody says otherwise, fuck them. And now it is finally time to show you the final result, guys. I'm really stoked, and I hope you love it as much as I do. I hope you had fun watching this video. Thank you so much to everybody who supports me, and also my Patreons. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And without further ado, it's now time for the heroic highlight, baby. Let's go.